All right, and we are back with a new episode of Real in the Field. Thank you, as always, to Blake Beans and Nate Taken for the theme music. Not changing it. Stay in. That's it. Stay in. But we're back with a new episode. A whole weekend, past weekend of games, the NFL Conference Championship games. Somebody made a deal with the devil. We're back here. The game that nobody wants, yet again, that nobody asked for, the most just lackluster. I mean, maybe it'll be a good game, but it's a game that nobody wants, essentially.
I think everybody except for Kansas City wanted the Bills to win, wanted something else, wanted something new.
Yeah.
But it's not going to happen.
No, not
going to
happen.
get Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Taylor Swift.
I cash in all my chips to the football gods. I've got nothing.
All on your TV that Super Bowl Sunday. That's what you're going to get.
There's some chatter about people boycotting this Super Bowl.
Really?
Yeah, the Dave Portnoy, the president of Barstool Sports. Yeah. Evidently, he made a big bet, lost it, and he's putting a lot on of the onus on the Kansas City the refs that coached. I mean, essentially, yes, they are Kansas City refs. There's a 40.
You mean the coaches? I mean the refs. Yeah.
But he's calling on all his minions to boycott the Super Bowl.
Dude, we'll get to that. Those controversial calls. We'll get to it.
Yeah.
But let's go Commanders or your Redskins against the Eagles. Saquon Barkley. Animal.
Put his team on his back.
Absolute animal. First play, 60 yards. He ran for 118 and he had 3 touchdowns.
3 touchdowns. Dude, that's the old, he's one short of Al Bundy's record.
He is on a mission. Dude.
That guy is, that Giants GM is probably just like kicking himself right now.
Dude, and that clip is still circulating on
I'm not going to I'm not going to have a $40 million QB hand off to a $15 million back or something like that.
I don't know. I don't know that one, but the one that I'm thinking of is a guy sitting at his desk. He's got him on speaker and blah, 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 and all this stuff. Dude,
oh, yeah.
And dude, Saquon's just like, yeah, dude,
That was a very awkward exchange.
Yes.
Because he's like, oh, well, you tell us what we can do. And Saquon's like, I already told you. You just pay me more money. That's it.
He's like, that's it, man.
Well, if we can do anything else, let me know.
Yeah. I'm like, nope. So Saquon played really well. I mean, the Commanders played okay. They drove down, put some points up and stuff. But then, I mean, Saquon's first run kind of was like,
oh man, they got punched in the mouth that first drive.
Yeah, this is gonna be a big boy game.
All right, so is it more a testament to Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts, and that entire Philadelphia team, or is it a referendum on Washington's defense? Are they that good, or is it just like Washington didn't show up?
No, Washington had 4 turnovers. That was the biggest part that hurt them.
That's a big one, yeah.
Couldn't get some momentum going when they needed it.
Yeah.
A quick score by Philly, and then boom, they get the ball back. Just it's deflating, and it's just hard to keep it going. But dude, the Eagles put up 55 points, which I believe is the most ever in a conference championship game.
That's a lot of points. I mean, when you think about what a team needs to get or do to get to that point, like Washington had to win a lot of games, put up a lot of points, and then to end up losing by that much.
Yeah.
That's
the 55. Tough. The 55 makes sense if you count in 4 turnovers. You're talking extra possessions that usually are not there.
And if they're capitalizing on each turnover, I mean, no one's going to win that ratio. Win a game with that kind of ratio. But I mean, I guess it's just all that more impressive that Philadelphia could do it in that manner, and especially Saquon Barkley just putting up 3 touchdowns. That guy's on a mission. I think you said it earlier before we, the mics heated up, that he is on a mission. Yeah. That guy just is like, he's got one thing on his mind, and it's getting to that end zone. And maybe it's a spite, maybe it's to spite New York.
He's running angry. He's running, like he's still running smart.
Yeah.
But he's running. You can just tell he's running with purpose. He's running. Yeah, dude. He's running with. He's got a touch of the fuck you.
Yeah.
Like that. He's trying to deliver to everybody.
Yeah.
And, excuse my language, but I'm just saying. But you know what I mean. Like when a guy plays like that, you can tell.
You can see it's. He's got something. He's like playing for something else. This isn't just. I mean, he's obviously hungry for a championship, but it just seems like he's on a mission. He's got a vendetta.
Yes.
The vendetta.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jalen played okay. He ran the ball pretty well. I thought the Eagles dialed up some good calls, quarterback draw down on the goal line, some quarterback counter to him. And he threw the ball, just fine. A.J. Brown had catches and scored and stuff.
Yeah, there was some craziness. There was a Madden play, I think that you can call it, that goal line stand.
The tush push. Or whatever they call it, the Philly.
Brotherly shove.
The brotherly shove, yeah. So the Commanders, or your Redskins, kept jumping off sides, and they just kept inching the ball forward.
Yeah. By the way, that is that's what, when you play like Madden or something like that, like that's what you do. That's a play in Madden. This is a generational thing that someone saw and they were like, I do this on Madden, and they'll just keep inching the ball forward, and maybe eventually they'll just we can get a fumble or something.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of embarrassing to watch.
Yeah.
To a point.
Yeah.
I know what they were trying to do. They're trying to time it up, and Luvu or whatever his name is, jumping over the pile.
Yeah.
On the second one, Jalen Hurts was like stepping back. But
I was entertained. That was an entertaining thing to see, to watch him fly through the air.
Yeah.
A la Troy Polamalu.
and then the ref went and gave like a little spiel.
Yeah. It was a rule. By the way, we've been watching football like for years, and we learned something.
Never seen it.
No. And this is a rule evidently that says if you're doing something that's very clear and obvious that you're breaking the rule, the refs have the authority to award something,
like
and in this case,
override.
And in this case, they warned coaches, if you guys do this again, we're going to award a touchdown. Which, all right, I knew the refs were powerful, but good Lord, I didn't know that they wield that much power.
On the ball, I don't think they have a choice when the ball's on the inch line, centimeter line.
I mean, sure, but to invoke that rule and say like this is going to be the outcome. We are literally going to put points on the board on behalf of this team if you do this again.
Yeah.
But it did happen again just after that. And that one wasn't intentional. They
hard counted.
They just hard count, and then they jumped off sides. Yeah. That was it wasn't palpably. It was earnestly.
Honest mistake?
Yeah.
But then they ended up just going on first sound, and Jalen scored.
It was inevitable. Yeah,
sure.
You knew it was going to happen, especially that close. I mean, it could have been 2 or 3 yards, and I think they still that's their MO. It was an interesting play just to see it all unfold that way.
Yeah, it was odd. So Eagles won. They're moving on. Yeah. And then they're meeting.
Nobody asked for this. Again, I don't know who made the deal with the devil. I don't know who had that, like the monkey paw, when you wish for something. And then somebody, you know what I'm sure happened? Somebody wished to never see Tom Brady in a Super Bowl ever again. And then you got Patrick Mahomes in a Super Bowl for, what is this, his 5th time?
Just so many for that guy. So the Chiefs-Bills starts off, and they're just throwing haymakers at each other.
Yeah.
Josh Allen was not playing good at the start.
No,
he threw up a couple. He just kind of threw some balls up that should have been.
He got away with a couple. He got away with a couple.
I think
he
got away with 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And I remember watching the game. I'm like, if he does that again, it's gonna get picked. Like he is.
It was one of the rare times that look at it and kind of ask yourself, is he just not in the game? Is he rattled? Is he playing out of fear? Is he playing too conservative? Is he? It just seemed that way. He never. I don't think I've ever seen a game where I thought Josh Allen was, kind of playing timid or playing scared, and it looked like some of those throws were coming out of
at the start.
At the start.
And then he kind of started to warm up. But no, I mean, it was a good game. It was kind of everything you wanted to see.
Well, it's what we've known. This is the same. It's the same scenario. Is Josh Allen comes up short in the 4th quarter for whatever reason, and you can blame it on drop passes. You can blame it on miscommunication.
Or the refs. Are we going to blame it on the refs? Do we want to talk about those?
Look, the reality is everybody sees what we saw. Everybody sees.
Well, let's go first with the quarterback sneak.
Okay. I don't know how everybody can see one thing and the refs don't see it that way.
If you watch the replay on TV, what's the D tackle name?
There's a D
Jones?
tackle that's in the way.
He's in the way.
You cannot, like, I swear to God.
I think he did it on purpose.
I swear to God, I was thinking that exact same thing, that's a Andy Reid coach up.
Yes.
Stand up, stand tall, get in the way of the line.
Yes.
That is 100%.
Dude, it was clear as day.
Yep.
When they're showing both side judges, one of them's here, the other one's here, and they're not aligned.
Yeah.
Jones is on the side where the guy's like, "Ooh, I'm not really sure where to go." And then it was just a terrible spot.
Yeah.
Dude, even the Tony Romo asked, "Oh, hey, Gene, what do you think?" And Gene's like, "Yeah, I got about it, but he got it."
Yeah.
But nothing.
No, I really do feel I thought that exact same thing as soon as I saw it. When I saw him just kind of like meandering.
Yep.
At what other point do you meander in an NFL football game, especially in this like when you're so close to the action on a quarterback sneak?
And you're the best D tackle
100% intentional. That is an Andy Reid little, just like a veteran. Like, this is what we're gonna do. A little trick of the trade. Put a little. Put a little Vaseline on your on your cap there. It's a trick of the trade, 100%. There's no way, no one's going to convince me that that's not intentional.
I'm with you on that.
Standing upright, meandering, looking back and forth. No, that was intentional.
So there was one.
Yeah.
The next call was Xavier Worthy's catch, where it was almost an interception. They both come down. The ball hits the ground, but it doesn't really move. And he kind of has it, but doesn't, and then rolls, and then he ends up with the catch.
Yeah. I think it hit the ground. You don't see clear control when at any point.
I don't know. It was a weird call.
It was, yeah.
But the Chiefs got it.
Again, anytime it's a coin flip, that's going to go the Chiefs' way.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of just no calls.
Dude, their DBs hold so much.
Their DBs hold. Their line, everybody holds. Their offensive linemen are like, I think they're just so blatant with it that I don't know. I don't know how they can get away with it.
I saw a thing the other day, and it was talking about how like the ratio of penalties called to not penalties called to everybody else in the league compared to the Chiefs.
Oh my gosh!
And then especially during playoff time, it's like pretty like blatant.
It is very obvious. Like when you see the discrepancy or the difference between the top one, which is the Chiefs, and the second most, which is, I can't remember who it was because I remember you were talking about it. You sent it to me. I mean, there's a big gap.
Oh, yeah,
it's Chiefs and then big gap and then the second team and then everybody else.
Everyone else
kind
is
of
like
falls
the
in
same. Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. It's gotten to a point where, I mean, you're losing people. You know, when it becomes this obvious and when it becomes this ubiquitous, where everybody just is, like knows this is how it's going to go. It just takes away from the whole game altogether.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see people win on technicalities like that. You know, I would rather see two guys go up against one another. The best guy's going to come down with the ball, even if it's a fluke Hail Mary and somebody who just was in better position. That's better than losing on technicalities because there was a penalty that was either called or not called. It's not the way. It's not enjoyable.
And do you know why I feel like this is true?
Mm-hmm.
Because we've been doing this for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
And every time we talk about this.
Every time.
Remember when they played, I can't remember if it was the Niners or the year before when they played
Baltimore?
Philadelphia.
Oh.
They played Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah, in the Super Bowl.
Right? In the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
the Chiefs.
Super Bowl, yeah.
Okay. And there was like that holding call towards the end of the game.
Yeah.
On a receiver. It was like super blatant.
Yeah.
And it didn't get called.
Yeah.
Like I just feel like every year we talk about
the same. It's always something.
It's always something with them, and it always works out in their favor.
I'm starting to think that there are, like, this is a premeditated. They're kind of like playing that system. They're playing penalties. They're playing or preparing for them. There may even be like a meeting where they come in and say, okay, how do we use this penalty in our favor? How can we not get this penalty called? What do we need to do? And planning around those like penalties. If there's and maybe it goes so far to look at like a specific referee and say, okay, what does this guy tend to call? We've looked at all the film and all of his like holding penalties, and he calls penalties. What can we get away with? If we're on the outside holding, he calls all the holding penalties inside. But if you come inside and hold, he's not calling it. All right, this game, everything's being held inside. You can hold on for dear life on the inside, but don't go on the outside because we're going to get called. And then it's the opposite of that for another referee.
That would take a lot of time.
But at this point, like, what other explanation is it? Is it that the referees genuinely just want Kansas City to win?
No, I think the NFL wants them to win.
Because what you're talking about here, and this is where I kind of have a hard time with thinking about the collusion, right? The conspiracy and collusion, and thinking, what it takes for these seemingly high integrity people. You have to convince however many guys that are in the league that we are going to do this thing. I find it very hard to believe that you can convince that many people to do this one thing that you want to do in a position that is it's about integrity. Like, it's their reputation on the line. And here's the thing. It's not just one ref. It's all of them, which leads me to believe that it's more probable, if you're going to play like the statistical, like what's more likely.
Okay.
I think it's less likely that the league is colluding to get Kansas City in a championship, especially when you hear the pushback from all the fans. Nobody wants this. Nobody. Not one. I don't know, besides Kansas City, nobody wants this game. No one's good. Like, they will. I would say that it's probably going to be one of the least watched Super Bowls in the past, like, decade. I'll put I'm not going to put money on it, but I'll put my reputation on it.
Okay.
It's not going to be a highly watched game. There's going to be a lot less interest in this game because nobody wants it. Nobody wants to watch Kansas City win for whatever, the three-peat. So for me, when I look at that, it makes more sense that Andy Reid, in his cunning ability and his like crazy like a fox, is planning, and that's part of the game plan. We're going to like game plan on the defense. We're going to game plan against offense. We're going to game plan against special teams. And we're going to game plan against the referees to get their calls and to avoid getting calls. That's my theory. That's my armchair
I like it.
theory.
I like it. I think the NFL has more influence on the referees than you think. Think about all the commercials and football commercials you see.
Yeah.
Who are they of?
Patrick Mahomes
and State Farm. Patrick Mahomes, State Farm, Andy Reid, State Farm.
Yeah.
Right? Those are the only commercials you see.
Yeah, I mean, you can make the argument that they've won 2 Super Bowls and they're going for their third, and so that's like,
okay, whether it is blatant and they're being told, let's take it easy on the old Chief guys, right?
Yeah.
I don't think they're doing that, but I think maybe, what's the word?
Subconsciously?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Subconsciously, it's getting in there, and it's like, well, yeah, man, they're the Chiefs. Like, of course.
Yeah, they're going to get the call.
Tom Brady used to get calls too.
Yeah.
Tom became the face of the NFL.
Yeah.
And he was getting calls too. Patrick Mahomes is now the face of the NFL, and he is getting calls too, just the way it is. LeBron James doesn't get reffed the same way as some rookie does.
Yeah, I see that point. I've also heard that there is somebody that played for the Chiefs had said, or maybe it was the Patriots, had said that the coach talks to the refs before the game.
Yes, we do.
And talks and says, hey, is this holding? Like, is this like, my guys are going to be doing this? Is this going to be, are you going to call it? And there's a like a dialogue between coaches and referees to say, this is what we're planning on doing tonight. Is this going to affect us? Even if it's that little bit of just getting into a ref's head and saying, and because the human psychology is just so
they are human,
and they're human. They're human. So let's
subject to error, just like everybody
right.
else.
And let's play this like scenario out. Hey, if we're 10 yards down the line and my guy makes a little bit of contact and they're like their hands are kind of getting in the way of each other, are you going to call it? And the ref says, hey, look, I'm going to let these guys play. I'm going to call it as I see it. But, if their hands are, kind of getting in it, I'm not going to call it. Well, then maybe that's just the implanted seed that he needs. And when he sees that happen in his subconscious, to kind of use what you're saying.
I told Andy Reid I wasn't going to call it.
I'm not going to call it. So in the split second when you have to make a decision on whether you're pulling your flag or not, he goes back to the conversation that he had with Andy Reid and says, I told him I'm not going to call it. I'm not going to call it. And whether he even knows it or not, there's some sort of inception going on. There's some sort of like
Leonardo DiCaprio.
They're on a plane and Andy Reid's like getting into his mind and planting something. I'm like, there's something. And I don't think it's nefarious in that like the refs are colluding to do something. There's just something in the zeitgeist that's just like, whether it's Andy Reid or maybe it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy with the refs and they just hear all the stuff that people are saying.
See, that's what I think. It's more of that.
And they're just like, kind of delivering on the like assumption that we do this. Like something, but like whatever it is, it's there and we all see it and we all notice it. And it's a bummer to see when like, the game's always been, one of the reasons why we love watching this game is because there has never been any of that. It's always been meritocracy, even best guy wins. Now we're not getting that. We're getting the game that nobody wants. Right. All right. Well, it's going to be a lackluster Super Bowl. I don't know. Maybe we'll see it. Maybe we won't. I don't know if I'm going to break an appointment to watch it, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Well, when we come back, we're going to take all the info that we talked about.
Yeah.
And we're going to play a new game.
New game. We got a new game coming up after this break. What are we calling it?
Finish the phrase.
Finish the phrase. All right. We'll be back with Finish the Phrase after this.
This episode is brought to you by Cigar Spots. Cigar Spots is located in the Circle of Orange.
Yeah, they have all your big brands like Fuente, Padron, Tatuaje, Ilusión. I mean, they've got pretty much every brand that you can imagine. My favorite, my go-to is always the Tatuaje brand. I like the specific 2012 Sumatra. That's my smoke. What do you got?
Yes, I've been going with the Tatuaje Red Label.
Yeah, Red Label's good. So they do at-home delivery. You can place your order online and they'll deliver your cigars straight to your house. Or you can order for pickup. You can actually order online and then they'll have it ready for you. You can just swing in, put some hazards on and go and pick up your cigars and be done.
And don't forget the promo code.
Promo code Tony Joe when you check out and get yourself 20% off your order. So visit cigarspots.com and use that promo code Tony Joe. All right, and we are back from break. All right, J. Mitch, what do we got here?
All right, we're going to play Finish the Phrase. So just after these past couple of weekends, just a couple thoughts, and I want to hear what you think is going to happen in the future. So, Finish the Phrase. After this year and his very successful rookie season, Jaden Daniels will be...
Ooh. What? He will be... First word that comes to mind is seasoned.
Yeah.
I mean, a year, I feel like a rookie season coming in and having this much experience, having success, taking his team to the playoffs. Maybe I'll change it to being hungry, because he is like a whole season of going through what he went through, taking his team, getting that close. Like, that is like, I mean, it's unbelievable to feel that confidence. I would imagine he's going to have some confidence going into next season and just be hungry to get back in there and accomplish what, he did year one.
All right.
Yeah. All right. What about you?
I'm going to go with Jaden Daniels will be a star.
Oh, yes.
He has all the tools.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't turn into the Brock Purdy he got going and then a little right. But he has all the tools to be a star.
He's got the poise. He's got the attitude. He's got the tools, the arm.
Yeah,
man, he looks good. He was off my radar for a lot of the season. You know, we don't get a lot of Washington games in our area.
Yeah,
but he's definitely in the postseason. Like seeing him more and watching full games, he's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
All
hungry.
Right.
He's going to be a hungry star.
There you go. Next one. After losing to the Chiefs again, Josh Allen is
on suicide watch. That is
someone take his shoelaces. Get that guy.
When you see his face after the game, like he was in shock, but also just, man, he was just so disheartened. Like, here we go again. Like, I can't believe it. I mean, so many organizations and teams and players who have this thing, the monkey on their back, that they're just like, they cannot shake. They can't get past. They can't do anything. It's like it becomes like ingrained in their head. At this point, he's got his card. Like, I don't know how he does it. All right, for you.
After losing to the Chiefs again, Josh Allen is going to be this generation's Dan Marino.
Oh,
he's never gonna win.
That is
he's
a tough moniker.
He has a rocket arm. He's all pro.
Yeah.
He's probably a future Hall of Famer. Like, he's all those things, but he's never gonna win. As long as Patrick Mahomes, obviously Josh Allen can get by the Lamars of the world, I think, but
not with Patrick Mahomes in that AFC division. But then here's the question then. Do you jump ship? You come to the NFC and just see him in the Super Bowl and hope that you can get past that? Hey, there's a good argument for him to come to LA. I mean, Matthew Stafford's like his best years I think are behind him. I think he's still got ball in him, but I mean,
I
don't know.
But right now I'm saying he's this generation's Dan Marino.
Well, Dan Marino ended his career with Miami.
Yeah, he was always a Dolphin, I think.
What if he would have gone to another team?
What
if Dan Marino went to, fill in the blank on team that was like right there in the NFC or even AFC?
Who knows? Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Maybe that's a conversation that needs to be had with Josh Allen's team. Yeah. I don't see why you would. Everything's there. You got into the conference championship game many years.
Multiple times,
It's not the team. You've got your guys around you.
You're just going up against...
That's it. You're going against this,
one of the best.
The coin flip, it's going to go his way every single time. Literally,
you're going up against one of the best tight ends ever. You're going one of the best quarterbacks ever.
Yeah.
And you're going against one of the best coaches ever. And a good defense coordinator in Spags. Like, dude,
you think it's
you're going against...
Maybe, do you think that at this point he needs to get with a coach that is better suited, for that's at a higher caliber? Because when you see good teams...
I think they might have got out-coached a little bit, but not blatantly obvious. Like, dude, they got out-coached. Like,
but I don't know, man. I'd like... That guy needs to do something. It's such a bummer to see him every single year just, with the silver medal.
Yeah. Well, all right. Number 3, going into the Super Bowl, Saquon Barkley is
hitting on all cylinders. He's the dude. You can't say enough good things about that guy.
Yeah. I'm going with going into the Super Bowl. Saquon Barkley is a man on a mission.
Man on a mission,
dude. He is not going to be denied.
Determined.
Dude. He is. He's going to see this thing through. If not, he's going to die trying.
Yeah.
He is on it.
That guy is, like we said earlier, he is playing with purpose. He's got a vendetta. He's looking to prove something.
And dude, I remember 2 years ago when the Eagles lost, and we talked about it on here.
Yeah.
And we talked about Jalen Hurts' post-game interview, on how there was a young fan who was really upset. Dude, and Jalen was so mature about it, and we're going to be fine. We're gonna come back.
Yeah.
We can do this and all this stuff. That was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Dude, and he's
delivering, man. He's delivering,
and
he's got like
just saying
that may be the missing piece of the puzzle to have that like dominant running back that can be the difference maker. You know, because I can't remember the running back at that time, but it wasn't.
Saquon Barkley.
It wasn't Saquon Barkley, that's for sure. And maybe that's just the push that they need to get them past Patrick Mahomes. I mean,
I thought Derrick Henry was the missing piece that Lamar needed.
Yeah, you're right.
Keep going, but maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, I'm hoping, man. I've got no more chips left to give to the gods. I'm at their mercy, but if there are football gods, I think they'll have mercy on all of these football fans.
Hopefully. Here we go, number 4. Headed to their 3rd straight Super Bowl. The Chiefs are...
Oh, God. They're an eye roll away from getting a 3rd Super Bowl. The Chiefs are insufferable. They are. I don't know how you get much more. When you talk about like the penalties and things like that, no fan wants to see it. It's not fun. It's not fun. Yeah. And call it a sore loser. Call it like whatever you want to call it, but just nobody wants to see this. I know we're joking about it and all that stuff, but nobody wants to see it. Like everyone's tired of it. Like everyone's had an ass full of Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey and Taylor Swift and all that. Like we're done. Okay, like I don't know. Like just done.
I'm with you. Headed to their 3rd straight Super Bowl. The Chiefs are this generation's Patriots.
Yeah,
they are on their way. That I hate using this word. It's so cliche and stupid. Dynasty.
Yeah,
but they are. They are, and they're on their way of doing that.
Yeah,
he's becoming this generation's Tom.
Yeah,
that team, the Patriot team, they had like the Belichick Patriot way. The Chiefs have the way they do it. Andy Reid has his style of doing it. It is very much becoming this generation's thing. Where if you think back when we were growing up and we were watching Tom and the Patriots play and win all the time, people were sick of them too.
We were sick of them, but we were sick of them winning. You still kind of respect their game. Yes.
It was more of like, God, those guys won again.
It was very much
you weren't annoyed with them.
No, you weren't annoyed. You were annoyed in a different way because they were just so good, but you still respect the play. Whereas with this, I don't know. There's just something about their winning that's just, it feels kind of disingenuous. It doesn't feel like competitive. And with Tom Brady, it was always like, he's going to make he's going to drive down the field. He's going to...
And Adam Vinatieri is going to kick the game.
Adam Vinatieri is going to kick it. That was the annoying part. With this, it's penalties. It's running out of bounds and getting a penalty. And
it's different.
Even with this last game against the Bills, it was a lot of like just things that kind of like went their way that just didn't feel like it was like an earned. It was just like, either happenstance or it kind of just fell their way. And I think for that reason, it's a lot less satisfying when you see a team. Now when there's things that just like that with the Patriots or Tom Brady, like specifically, when he would do something, he would kind of make magic happen, like the deficit against like Atlanta.
Oof,
that's not from penalty. That's from him just standing back, delivering, and like making plays and making things happen and being a good leader. It's different than just like what we see over here with penalties and calls that aren't called or are called. So I don't know, man, but I think you're right. They are like our generations or this next generation's like Patriots.
All right, last one. If the Chiefs win their 3rd straight Super Bowl, Patrick Mahomes is...
I think I already used the word insufferable, but I'm going to switch it to this one. He's going to be even more insufferable. Like I don't know, man. I hate being like such a hater on Mahomes, but I don't know. He will be recognized as the second best quarterback ever behind Tom Brady.
If the Chiefs win their third straight Super Bowl, Patrick Mahomes is automatic first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
He is then literally contending with Tom to being the best quarterback ever.
Oh, yeah.
It's now 1 and 2. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
I'll say this. Patrick Mahomes is on his way to passing Tom Brady.
Yeah, sadly. I mean, in his time.
If he does it.
Yeah.
If he does it.
Yeah.
So I looked up some stats. I just wanted to wrap my head around all of it.
Yeah.
So here you go. Tom Brady played 18 seasons at New England.
Okay.
He won 17 division titles.
Jeez.
Right? He went to 13 AFC championship games.
That is like hard to wrap your head around.
He had 9 Super Bowl appearances.
Yeah.
Okay. He won 6 Super Bowls. He then goes to Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
And wins the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So grand total, he's been to 10 Super Bowls and he won 7. So he lost 3 Super Bowls.
That is an incredible stat. He's gone to more Super Bowls than most he himself than most organizations ever.
Yeah.
He's lost
more
than most organizations.
The Lions have never been to the Super Bowl.
Lions have never been. I mean,
yeah. And here's what Patrick so Tom had the 18 seasons in New England, then finished off with the 2 at the Bucs. Mahomes has had 8 seasons.
Yeah.
He's been to 7 AFC championship games. He's had 5 Super Bowl appearances, and he's won 3. So if you are playing the numbers game and he stays on pace, he is on his way to reaching Tom, passing Tom, and he could become the best football player ever.
Well, I mean, that's great for Kansas City fans. I hope their organization sends their season ticket holders a nice gift every year. I'm done with all of them. I'm done with Brittany. I'm done with Taylor. I'm done with Travis. I'm done with Patrick. I'm done with Andy. I'm done with just the whole organization. Their fans aren't bad. Like, at least that's the one, like, you know, the good thing that they have. And conversely, Philadelphia fans are awful. They're very bad. And that says a lot that as bad as the Philadelphia fans are, I'm still rooting for them and not for Patrick Mahomes and that whole organization. Because they're not.
That's how much it just...
Yeah, it's just like, man. It was like palpable, not palpably, but palpable. Like my like just frustration and like the letdown when that running back on that 3rd and 10, I feel like that play was the most rudimentary. What every play you guys run it, we've ran it. Like everybody runs that play of bunch on the. In this case, it was bunch on the left side. Ran all the receivers across the field, get everything all mishmash and jumbled up in the middle, and then your running back just squirts out, and there you go. You got your first down. It was every play. I feel like I ran that in junior high.
But dude, it was a good play call.
It was a great play call. Yes, I know. It's just so frustrating. That's all to say that when we saw that, and you're just like, okay, you're not going to stop it. There's your 10 yards. The game's over. It was like just deflated. Just like, just everything just was like sucky, and everything that you didn't want to happen happened.
Yeah.
I've never been this more like against or like not wanting a team to win than I was with that game. I swear to you, I was just like I wanted the Bills to win so badly, and I'm not a Bills fan. I'm not like, but it's just like I just did not want the Chiefs to be in it. It's weird. Like I'm admitting this in front of you and this audience. I'm not proud of it.
I was gonna say, you seem very upset.
I was very upset.
Yeah.
I was genuinely bummed out.
Yeah.
And really wanted the Bills to win, or just like didn't want the Chiefs to win, but here we are. We'll see. We'll see how the Super Bowl goes. It'll be. You know what's going to happen. The Chiefs are going to win. I mean, we're going to. Do I have to give my prediction now, or you want to wait till next episode?
Next episode, of course.
Oh God.
And we're gonna do some stuff on like the Super Bowl food.
Yeah, we'll do some fun stuff.
Yeah.
Bring
revive
some.
Yeah,
life
we've been
into
a little cumbersome tonight. Little down.
Been a little down on this one.
A little down.
A lot to be down of. All right, we're gonna take another break, and I'm gonna go fucking cool. I'll go smoke a cigarette outside. All right, we'll be back after this. All right, this episode is brought to you by Pro West Electrical. Pro West Electrical is owned by our friend, who we went to high school with, Anthony Sabasco. He's got over 15 years of electrical experience. His company does panel replacement, do recessed lighting. They actually did all the electrical and the recessed lighting in my house. They do switches, EV chargers, Ring doorbell. They'll change a light bulb in your house if you want them to, if you pay them to.
That's right. And you can visit their website, prowestelectrical.net, or you give them a call, 714-306-1570.
Pro West Electrical, powering up your world. All right, we're back to this very somber episode of Real in the Field. We just spent the last 50 minutes shitting on Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City.
Yeah. Sorry if the episode was a little...
Yeah, it was a little somber.
Yeah.
It's a little dark.
We're just very upset that they won. That's all.
I think that's going to do it. I think we've had enough of all of the negativity.
Yep.
We're going to go home and do some meditation. We're going to align our chakras and get back in it. So we'll come back with a new episode next week.
The pre-Super Bowl episode.
Yeah, pre-Super. We'll have something fun planned for that. We'll lighten it up a little bit. It won't be as like somber and dark as this episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, come back next week. We'll have a new episode. And until then, like, subscribe, or unsubscribe if you don't like hearing this. If you're a Chiefs fan, maybe you might want to unsubscribe. Otherwise, come back next week for a new episode of Real in the Field. All right.